Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. I'm Chris, this is my channel. On this channel I like to drink craft beer, I like to review craft beer, and I don't like to pay a whole lot of money to do so. So the beers that I review on this channel usually come in around the $2 price range, and such as the case with today's selection. I paid $1.99 for a 12-ounce bottle of the Samuel Adams Porch Rocker, tangy and refreshing and tangy, excuse me, don't want to get my adjectives in the wrong order, refreshing and tangy Radler. Now if you're not familiar with the term Radler, but you are familiar with the term Shandy, same thing. If you're not familiar with either term, that's fine too. A Shandy or a Radler is an occasion where you take your glass, you pour part beer and part something else to it to sort of lighten the beer, something that's non-alcoholic that's going to cut down on the alcoholic content of it. Here in America, we typically use lemonade, but there's other things like ginger ale, orange juice. Schoenhofer, I believe is the name of their. I forget now, honestly, but they make a really good. When I lived in Tacoma, there was a German place, and they must have had, I swear to you, 6 different varieties of grapefruit Radlers and Shandies. So apparently grapefruit's very popular in German culture for Shandies, but the idea behind a Shandy or in this case a Radler, very simple. You're trying to dilute the alcohol content of the beer so you don't have quite as high an alcohol content. I'm going to read to you right here. It says, Sweet Porch Rocker, sweet, tangy, and refreshing. This beer was inspired by German cyclists who mix beer with lemonade. After a tough ride in Porch Rocker, we brewed a golden Helles lager combined with smooth, effervescent lemonade that'll knock the heat out of any summer day. And that's another thing too, is that it's more refreshing sometimes than a typical beer. This beer has a 4.5 ABV. What I'm going to read off to you are the stats regarding Helles lager, but of course this has been diluted, so it's kind of difficult to hold on to this. Anyway, 4.5 ABV. Typically a Helles lager has between 4.7 and 5.4. This has 8 IBUs. Typically a Helles lager comes in between 16 and 22. So, you know, it's, as I said, it's beer plus lemonade, so you can't, it's difficult to hold on to those standards. Quick notes about the reviewing community. 35 of my friends on Untappd have given this a cumulative score of 3.46. 108,000 of us have given it a cumulative score of 3.48. Beer Advocate has had 1,686 rankings, giving it a cumulative score of 3.31, which is an okay ranking. It has used 2-row pale malt, and the hops they used were Hellertal, Mittelfrühe, Noble. There you have that. Quick notes about Helles Lager. Crisp golden Helles with a blend of real, grainy, sweet malty flavor and aroma, persistent head, currently the most popular variety in Germany. So you got the most popular variety in Germany added with lemonade, which apparently German cyclists dig. There you have it, gang. So, going to be using my Sam Adams Ibex glass. If you have not seen my video on this, one day I'm going to be able to figure out how to reference, I have to actually put the link in, and maybe I'll put it in the description. That's what I'll do. I'll put the link in the description. But I go into detail explaining this glass, a lot of different things to this glass. One of the things, most importantly, is this little nub right here. This is where you take in the bouquet. So, I'm going to be using my Venezia bottle opener that my friend Tony picked me up while he was in Venice. And crack this bad boy open, keeping the caps for my man Kelly. Whoops. Kelly, if you're out there, there's another cap for you, buddy. He's got some kind of art project going on, so I'm just hanging on to caps for him until I got enough to mail him to him. Let's see how this pours. This is actually pouring a little more golden than I was expecting. I have to say that has a little more color. I thought this was going to be closer to a pale color, but no, this has got some. Let's see, what you're seeing here, gang, is probably, oh, I'd say 2 shades, maybe 1.5 shades darker. Lots and lots and lots of carbonation. High, heavy carbonation. The head, the bubbles are grooving. Well, actually, they're popping rather quickly. That's not as persistent a head as you would expect from a Helles lager. Once again, it's a Helles lager with lemonade added to it, so it is an adulterated Helles lager. You can't expect it to hold on to some to the elements when somebody's when somebody has tampered with it. So I'm going to do a quick beard wipe, see what I come across. And I smell a lot of lemon, actually. I smell the lemon came through more than anything. I'm going to stick my schnoz into it. Once again, remember to use your little nub. That's where you want to put your nose. Get into the best bouquet. Okay, now I do smell the lemon, but on that one I smelled a lot, sort of a creamy smell, a lot of grain, which is what you're supposed to smell in a Helles lager. So anyway, looks like this head is just about down to where it's going to be, I think, remaining. So I'm going to describe that as, well, as a semi-resilient head. It's not what I'd call flimsy, but well, maybe it is. I don't know. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to get to some drinking though, and so we can discuss this in greater detail. Cheers. Okay, what I taste more than anything, honestly, is the lemonade. I don't really taste the grain profile. I don't taste the hops. Um, okay, now on the back end, I'm tasting some of the graininess. A little bit of biscuity flavor on the back end. I'm going to describe that as probably a medium-high mouthfeel. There is spikiness from the citrus. Um, it is refreshing. It's almost like a spiked lemonade in flavor, but not so much in composition. It's definitely light and refreshing, that's for sure, and it's easily the kind of beer I could see drinking after doing some exercise. Clearly, it's a lawn mowing beer with its tanginess. It is tangy and refreshing. There's even kind of a creaminess to it, and I'm always amazed when you can have a beer with a high mouthfeel that's tangy and then somehow has a creamy finish. This one does. The grain composition, though, is very, very light. I would actually be interested in to see what this Helles lager from Boston Beer Company would be like without the Shandy. But you know, this has a very specific purpose. Shandies are there to refresh and so you can enjoy without a high alcohol content, and that's exactly what this is doing. So while the flavor isn't exactly knocking me over, at the same time, it's doing precisely what it's designed to do. So as I see it, I'm going to have to give this a 4.25. It would get a full 4.5 if it was in a can, but it is in a bottle, so it doesn't get the extra 0.25. But I've got to say this is a good beer. I'm not going to make it a special selection or anything like that, but it is a good beer. It's it's a tangy beer. It is tangy. It is refreshing. It's very light. I mean, this might be a good way to get the uninitiated into craft beer. So consider picking up some of these if you got a friend you're trying to improve his or her palate. This is a good way to go. So once I can get the glare out of there, we can actually get this in. There it is. There's that pale blue. And oh yes, I did see freshness matters. Enjoy before month notch September. So this is actually well, let's see. That puts it 2 months ahead of schedule. Guys, I know that this recording is coming out in October, and I apologize for that. And um, I've already addressed this issue, but I promise you that in the coming months, I'm not going to be so far ahead, and I'm not going to be reviewing what are basically summer beers in October. But hey, if you did like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.